Welcome to the deep dive. Now, if you're involved in rolling out new tech, you probably know the code itself isn't always the toughest bit.
No, often it's the culture, right? Getting people comfortable.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into the secret to getting people on board with AI. We're looking at that big hurdle, the resistance, maybe some fear that often pops up when you bring in advanced AI tools.
hmm
Our goal here is to unpack a communication strategy that can actually turn that skepticism around, get people ready, and boost adoption.
And, this isn't just your standard change management email blast. When
No.
we talk AI implementation, the tech, maybe that's like 20% of it.
Right.
The other 80%, that's the communication. It really determines if people see it as a helpful partner or, well, some kind of threat.
Mhm.
So we're going to unpack a specific 5-step framework here. It's really designed to build that trust and get AI properly integrated into how people actually work.
Okay, and that framework you mentioned, it's called the CLEAR method.
That's right, CLEAR.
Clarify, link, explain, address, and reinforce. So it's a roadmap, step by step.
It's meant to turn that worry into, ideally, advocacy, but you've got to follow through on each step.
It sounds like the secret sauce for leaders trying to manage this kind of big shift. Okay, let's get into it. Starting with C, clarify.
Yeah, clarify the purpose.
So often when there's a big change, you get these really vague announcements, right? About optimizing synergy or something.
Yeah, corporate buzzwords.
And the sources we looked at say that's just completely the wrong approach. We need to answer, why are we really doing this?
Exactly. Because, look, people don't get excited about tech for some abstract company goal. They get on board when it solves a real problem for them in their day-to-day work.
Makes sense.
So the communication has to ditch the vague stuff and spell out concrete personal benefits. Don't just say AI makes the company more efficient.
What should we say instead?
Get specific. Like, this will cut down how often you do that repetitive task you hate, or it'll slash data entry mistakes, or maybe speed up customer replies dramatically. Real outcomes.
And I think a key point here is that these benefits aren't one size fits all. You need to tailor it.
Oh, absolutely. Hyper-customized is the word. Think about who you're talking to, your tech teams. They care about stability, accuracy, how it integrates.
Right.
So you talk to them about reducing technical debt, making systems more reliable, but your customer service folks, they live and breathe client happiness.
So for them, it's about making their jobs less frustrating.
Precisely. Tell them how it gets rid of the tedious parts, freeing them up to actually connect with clients more deeply. It's about what they value.
Okay, so we need tangible proof. Numbers, maybe.
Yes, exactly. Don't just promise time savings. Quantify it. Give them the actual math. Like, this new AI tool cuts down your daily email processing from, say, 45 minutes to just 10. That's 35 minutes back in their day, every day.
That's concrete. You can feel that difference.
Right. It makes that abstract idea of efficiency suddenly very real, very personal.
Okay, so we've clarified the why, the specific benefits. What's next? Overcoming the fear of the unknown. That brings us to L. Link to their world.
Yeah, this is crucial. AI often sounds like this complicated alien thing, a black box.
Right. How do you make it feel less intimidating, more familiar?
You lean on what people already know. If it feels like starting from scratch, the mental effort is just too high. So you need analogies, parallels to tools or processes they already use constantly.
So, like, if you're bringing in some AI for predictive maintenance, you wouldn't talk about the algorithms.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. You'd maybe compare it to something familiar. Like, it's sort of like the check engine light in your car, but way smarter. It flags potential issues before they cause a breakdown.
Ah, okay. Connecting it to existing concepts.
Exactly. It's all about translating the tech jargon into plain English. Analogies are your best friend here.
How would you explain something complex like machine learning then?
You can say something like, look, the system learns from data. The more it sees, the better it gets. It's kind of like how you get better at speaking a new language. You need practice, right? You need conversations.
Okay, so it shifts the focus from the how to the what it does for me.
Precisely. It's about the relatable improvement, not the underlying complexity.
And it's not just about function, right? There's an emotional side too. I remember one source talking about social proof.
Yes, the validation aspect. That's really powerful. Share success stories.
From where?
Ideally, from similar companies or maybe even another team within your own organization if they're ahead on adoption. When people hear about colleagues, people just like them, actually benefiting.
Like the sales team closing deals faster, or finance spending less time on expenses.
Exactly. That kind of stuff resonates way more than a top-down announcement. It makes the AI feel less like a management thing and more like a genuinely useful tool people are already using to make their work lives better.
Right. Okay, so we've clarified and linked. Now we get into the real nuts and bolts with E. Explain what changes. This feels like where things can get tricky.
Yeah, this is often where leaders hesitate, maybe get a bit vague because they don't want to scare people.
But uncertainty is often worse, isn't it? Not knowing how your job might change.
Much worse. That uncertainty breeds way more fear than clarity ever could. So you have to be crystal clear about how responsibilities are shifting.
So, no sugarcoating.
No, you need absolute clarity on how roles will evolve. Spell it out. What specific tasks will the AI take over or help with?
Maybe like a list.
Yeah, a list, a checklist, maybe even a matrix showing.
Yeah.
This task moves to AI, this task stays with the human, this task becomes a collaboration. Be that specific.
So people can really see the before and after of their job, their new role taking shape.
Exactly. Describe that workflow evolution step by step. And visuals help immensely here.
Like flowcharts.
Annotated flowcharts are great. Show where the AI gets data, where it might flag something unusual, and crucially, where the human steps in to make a judgment call or take action. Remove all the guesswork.
And what about performance? How people are measured?
Good point. You need to address that too. Clarify how expectations might change, but frame it positively. Emphasize that this shift lets people offload the routine stuff.
And focus on more interesting work.
Yes, higher value activities that need human judgment, creativity, complex problem solving. Things AI isn't good at.
That clarity about structure seems like the perfect lead-in to the emotional side, the A.
Yeah.
Address concerns proactively. This is about tackling the worries head-on, right? Naming the elephants in the room before they cause chaos.
You absolutely have to. If you don't, those fears just bubble under the surface and erode trust.
So what are the typical big fears we need to anticipate?
Well, the usual suspects are job security, obviously. Will I be replaced? Then there's skill obsolescence. Will my expertise become worthless? And losing autonomy, control over decisions, those are huge.
And you're saying we should bring these up ourselves.
Yes. Name them. Acknowledge them directly. Say, we know some of you might be worried about X, Y, or Z. Just acknowledging the concern validates people's feelings. It shows you understand.
But what about the AI's own limitations? Does talking about where the AI might fail undermine confidence? Should we really be that transparent?
That's a really insightful question. And it gets to the heart of selling tech versus actually getting it adopted successfully.
Yeah.
Look, if you pitch the AI as perfect, infallible.
It's bound to disappoint eventually.
Exactly. The first time it makes a mistake, trust evaporates. So transparency here actually builds credibility, paradoxically.
So be honest about what it can't do.
Yes. Talk about its limitations. Maybe explain concepts like model drift, how AI accuracy can degrade over time if the real world changes, or its sensitivity to bad data.
Interesting. So you actually explained some of the technical weaknesses.
In accessible terms, yes. Because framing it that way highlights why human oversight, judgment, and validation are still essential. It makes the human role critical to the system's success, not just an optional extra.
Ah, I see. So it manages expectations and reinforces the need for people.
Precisely. It stops people from over-trusting it or using it for things it wasn't designed for, which leads to chaos.
So instead of hiding errors, you explain that humans are the quality control.
You got it. And that transparency needs practical backup. You need clear procedures for when things go wrong.
Like, how do we spot mistakes? How do we report them? How fast do they get fixed?
All of that. Plus, outline all the support. Dedicated training on the new workflows, clear documentation, a responsive help desk. Knowing the system has limits and knowing help is there really lowers the anxiety level.
Okay, that detailed approach to handling concerns flows nicely into the final step, which feels critical for making this stick long-term. Reinforce the partnership.
Yes, this is perhaps the most crucial framing of all.
Positioning AI as a partner, not a replacement.
That framing needs to be relentless, consistent in all communication. It's all about augmentation. The language you use has to constantly highlight how the AI enhances what humans do, makes them better.
Moving beyond just saying, it'll help.
Way beyond. Use specific language that defines the collaboration. Show the value exchange clearly.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of just AI helps with data, say. The AI will handle the complex data sorting and initial analysis so that you can dedicate your time to developing creative solutions, negotiating strategies, or building stronger client relationships. See the difference?
Yeah, it clearly shows the what's in it for me and elevates the human role.
Exactly. It identifies those skills that become more valuable now.
Which tend to be the uniquely human skills, right?
Mm,
Empathy, creativity, ethical judgment, things AI struggles with.
absolutely. You need to actively amplify the importance of those skills. Things like relationship building, nuanced problem solving, ethical thinking. These become premium capabilities.
So internal training should shift focus too.
It has to. Training and career paths should pivot towards developing these complex human skills. It sends a clear message. We value our people more, not less, now that AI handles the routine stuff.
And this partnership idea needs proof, right? Ongoing validation.
Constantly.
Yeah.
You need to actively collect and share success stories.
Not just efficiency stats.
No, stories about collaboration. Focus on examples where the human plus the AI achieved something neither could have done alone. That's powerful, inspirational proof.
Okay, and for this reinforcement to really work, it sounds like it needs to be continuous, like a feedback loop.
Yes, absolutely. Co-creation is key here. Establish clear, active channels for people to give feedback on the AI.
Not just big reports, you mean?
No, genuine input on how it works in practice. Treat their operational expertise as vital. When you actually use employee feedback to tweak and improve the AI tool, it shows their expertise matters.
It gives them ownership over the change.
That's the final piece. That sense of ownership is what truly turns resistance into real advocacy.
So we've walked through the whole CLEAR method. Clarify the purpose with specifics, link it to the familiar, explain the changes transparently, address those fears head on, and constantly reinforce the partnership. It really is a full strategy.
It is, and I think, what this all boils down to is that the secret isn't hiding the change or the tech. It's about communicating the partnership, honestly, consistently.
Focusing on how it helps people do better work.
Right. When you focus on augmentation, when you're transparent even about the limitations,
Mm-hmm.
and when you clearly show how this shifts people towards more valuable human-centric work,
Yeah.
that resistance tends to melt away. It can actually become excitement.
Which leaves us with a really interesting thought to consider. If AI is getting so good at handling the routine analysis, the data crunching, the repetitive tasks, how much more valuable do those uniquely human skills become?
Skills like creativity, empathy, complex ethical reasoning.
Exactly. How should we be thinking about those skills as we design the jobs of the future? And maybe for you listening, what specific human skill will you focus on developing next to make sure you're ready for that higher value future work?
Good question to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next Step Dive.